I'm a graphic designer, and today I'm going to break down Pantone's 2024 color of the year. They just announced it last week. The color is Peach Fuzz. It's this soft, gentle pastel orange color. Now, I am really excited about this color. I think it was a great choice, and I'm going to talk about my initial impressions of the color, the significance of this color, and sort of what it's predicting for the next year. And most importantly, I'm going to show how brands and businesses can use this color in their branding in tons of different fun ways, because this color, I would say, plays very nicely with others. So I'm going to show you all the ways that you can incorporate Peach Fuzz into your branding if you would like to. Now, I actually love this color. When I first saw the announcement, I was really happy because, like I said, this color plays so nicely with others. It's a happy, joyful, gentle color to me. I will say I am not in love with the name, but I think that's probably my own thing. It reminds me of when I was in middle school and some kid saw hairs on my face and I just got teased for having peach fuzz. So I would say because of those connotations, some people might not be super into the name. If I were naming it, I would have called it orange wine, but I do think that the color is absolutely perfect. She is a soft orange, and she leans slightly more towards the red side of the spectrum than yellow. It's a little bit of a pastel version of a reddish orange. It's a velvety, soft color that, in my opinion, is the warm tone version of baby blue. It works with almost any color, and it brings this gentle softness to any project. Now, I want to talk about the significance of Peach Fuzz because it's not just the 2024 color of the year, it's the next color of the year. So I think it's important to look at how it compares to past colors. So we're going to work backwards and we're going to look at the past colors of the year. This is the 2023 color Viva Magenta, which is a bold, deep reddish pink. Then we have 2022 Very Peri, a very deep, bright purple. Then in 2021, we actually had two colors. We had Illuminating and Ultimate Gray. I would say Ultimate Gray was super forgettable for me, but this Illuminating color was very a bright neon yellow. And then in 2020, we had one of my absolute favorite color of the years. This was Classic Blue, a very deep, bright blue, almost like a denim color. Then in 2019, we had Living Coral, a bright pinkish orange color. In 2018, we had Ultraviolet, a bright pinkish purple. In 2017, we had Greenery, a bright grassish color green. And then in 2016, we had another double color year. We had Rose Quartz and Serenity. Rose Quartz is very much that millennial pink that was just blowing up, think Glossier, that sort of vibe. And then Serenity, which I would call a soft, muted lavender color. Now, we could keep going back and look at 2015, 2014, 2013, but you're going to see a lot of bold and bright colors. And the thing that I think is really significant is that 2016 was the last year that we had a soft pastel color. The last few years have been very bold, very bright, very deep. And so this is the first time that we have something a little bit more gentle. So the slogan for the 2024 color of the year is Embrace the Warmth. And I think that that has a lot of layers to it. This color is soft, it's delicate, it's friendly, it's warm, it's cozy. She feels like she could be the star of the show or support any color. It's just a very flexible color. And I think that it says a lot about where our culture is. I think we're ready for a little bit of softness in our lives. The last few years have been just a lot. I don't even need to remind you of everything that's been a lot, but it has been a lot going on. And so I think that this color is just calling us all to take a second to find a comforting, warm center and stay there for a second. And I think it's no coincidence that a soft pastel color was chosen at a time when our culture is prioritizing rest over hustle culture, when we're craving gathering with our communities. I don't know about you, but I have been seeing the art of gathering so much lately. And so I think that this is really in line with that vibe. And it comes at a time when we are embracing mindfulness and self-care practices. We're prioritizing a shift towards mental well-being away from individual achievement. In my opinion, I think 2024 was the right year to choose a soft pastel color, and I honestly think that Peach Fuzz was a great choice. I do want to take a small moment to talk about color contrast when it comes to Peach Fuzz, because as you know, I am a total champion for testing your color palettes for contrast and making sure that you have high contrast pairings. But just in case you're unaware of what that is or why it's so important, color contrast essentially measures the difference in color levels between your background color and your text color. And what we're looking for is a level that is above a 4.5. Now, I'm using the color palette tester to do this, and there's a description in the tester. Essentially, in order to meet the WCAG 2.0 contrast guidelines, you want to have a 4.5 to 1 ratio or higher. So let's just test the color of the year. So I'm just going to add in Peach Fuzz, and then let's test it with just pure white. We're just going to do like a pure white text on Peach Fuzz background and see what that would look like. I'm going to click show colors, and we're going to see that that contrast ratio is very, very low. It is 1.61 to 1, meaning it is not high enough to be considered compliant. And if you look at the Pantone color of the year page, you might be a little confused by that because they're using white text on this like peach soft background, and you might think, oh, that's a little hard to read, because it is. Now, I will say this brown color that they're using is actually, it does have pretty high contrast, so let's actually see what that would look like. I bet that's compliant. So let's take a look. I'm just going to use the eyedropper tool to grab this burgundy brown color. Okay. So now let's test that contrast level, and right there we can see it's a 7.56, meaning it is high contrast and you can actually use that. So after some tweaking, what I found is that this spot in the spectrum seems to be the lightest that you can go, where you will still have at least a 4.5 contrast level with this Peach Fuzz color. So if we were to change it from burgundy red to say blue, we can click show colors and we should have at least a 4.5. Or if we were to change it to like a pinkish color, we can click show contrast, 4.56. So you do want to definitely test your colors for contrast and make sure that they do have deep enough contrast. But the secret level that you're going for is 4.5. And like, here's a good example. This is 3.29. Even though it's at the same spot in the spectrum, we are going to need to go a little darker in order to have a contrast level that is at least a 4.5. Now, not every color in your palette has to have high enough contrast levels with Peach Fuzz. You just need at least one color in your palette to be dark enough to be used as text. So if I were to just use this mock-up palette, we can see that these are all the contrast levels, and there are just a handful that have this check mark. And if I click show compliant colors, we can see that this like dusty navy color works as text with Peach Fuzz, with this white, with this pink. So that's how I recommend building your palettes, making sure that you have at least one color that is dark enough or light enough to serve as text on the colors that you think you'll use a lot. Now let's talk about how to actually use this color in a brand color palette. Now, the cool thing is that this color plays very nicely with others. It does not really like weigh down a palette too much like maybe a deeper, darker color would. So you can use it as a hero color, as an accent color. There are so many different ways that you can use this in different design styles, and I'm just going to show you a few examples. I'm going to use the color palette builder to show you different design styles and how you can use those design styles to incorporate Peach Fuzz. So we're going to start with cottagecore. I think that this color would work very well. With each of these design styles, there are color palette formulas. So I'm just going to follow the formula as is, and I'm going to find a color that's very similar to Peach Fuzz and then replace the hex code. So I'm going to choose a couple light neutral colors. I'm going to choose some medium neutral colors. I think this one's very close to Peach Fuzz, so I'm going to add that one in there. And then I'm going to choose a dark neutral. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the hex code. Yep, so very, very similar. And then I'm going to click show compliant pairings, and here are all of the high contrast pairings that we can use in a color palette using Peach Fuzz. There she is right there. And you notice how well she blends in with those other colors. And if I want to view the full palette, here's what that full palette would look like in a cottagecore design style. I also think this color would be right at home in a bright and warm design style. I mean, you can just see tons of peach and terracotta tones in this. It's gonna fit in perfectly. So I'm going to use Peach Fuzz as one of the bright colors, because when I look at these, I think that they're a little bit brighter. It also could be very close to this, so we'll see. But I'm gonna add a few beiges, and then I'm going to add some light colors. That one's, actually that one's a little closer. And let's add another light, and then let's add in some pinks. How about you? And then how about like a nice deep mustard, and then maybe like a softer rose. And then let's add in a deep terracotta color. And actually let's add in 2 terracottas. And all I'm gonna do is replace this peach with a peach fuzz. Oh, this palette's gonna be so cute. I'm actually gonna move that up because I like the pinks right next to it. Okay. So now if I click show compliant pairings, here are all of the high contrast options. Look at how that peach fuzz, oh, the peach fuzz and the pink together, it's so cute. This is like exactly the kind of vibe that a bright and warm design style has. It's bright, it's juicy, it's friendly. I love this like bright orange with that peach fuzz too. I think that this color palette is gonna be very popular in the next year. Now I'm going to show you how this color would look if we were going for a botanical design style. And botanical design styles are really iconically known for using shades of green and floral tones. But look, I mean, in this example on the mood board, we already have a peach in there. So I think she's going to fit in perfectly. Okay, I'm going to add in at least 2 light colors, and I'm actually going to choose like a soft peach. And then I'm going to add in some greens. Now I want to go for some like more vivid. Yeah, I think those would be great. And then I'm going to choose a peach that's very similar to Peach Fuzz, this one, but then I'm just going to replace the hex coat, and look how similar that was. They fit right together. And I'm going to actually add in like a lavender and then maybe a blue. Yeah, I think that like, I don't know, cornflower blue would be really pretty. And then I'm going to add in a deep dark green. Then I'm going to click show compliant pairings, and here is the full list of high contrast pairings. I mean, Peach Fuzz fits in perfectly. I think she works really nicely with those greens. I think a palette like this could even prioritize the greens and use the Peach Fuzz as a little accent, as a pop of life, especially with some lavenders and some dusty blues. Really, really fun palette. Okay, and then last, I'm going to show you how Peach Fuzz would work in a pastel design style, because it is a pastel color. It's going to feel right at home in here. I can guarantee it. So we're going to start with a soft white, and let's go with like a soft beige color. And then I'm going to add in Peach Fuzz because I would call this one of our light pastel colors. So I'm going to add that in. Let's also add in a nice purple. How about a pink? I think pink, purple, and orange are going to make each other all feel like a little bit more pastel and fun. Yes. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. And then we're going to add in muted pastel. Now, we don't have to based on this formula, but we can. I'm going to add in a butterscotch yellow because I think that'll feel really nice. And then we're going to choose a dark neutral, and these are a lot softer to go with these pastel colors. If I click show compliant pairings, here are all of the high contrast pairings that we have. I particularly love these, especially these guys. I'm not sure I would use that mustard yellow for anything other than an accent color, but I might like having it. And here's the full color palette for using Peach Fuzz in a pastel design style. I really hope that this video gave you some inspiration and was a fun way to celebrate a new color of the year. I think that these are really fun. This is my first time actually like implementing brand colors from the color of the year. And I think this is a tradition that I want to keep up. I do also want to say, I hope that you don't feel pressured to change your brand color palette and add this color to it. You really don't have to do that. This is a color that should only be incorporated if it actually works, but you never need to redesign your brand colors to match the Pantone Color of the Year announcement. And I want to hear from you. What did you actually think of the 2024 Color of the Year? Do you love Peach Fuzz? Is it not for you? I want to hear all of your thoughts. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like it and follow this channel so that I can create more color-themed videos for you. Bye!